If you made it to 70, you've already won more than you know. If you've made it to 70, you've already done something extraordinary. You've outlived millions who never had the privilege of witnessing the things you've seen, feeling the things you've felt, or learning the wisdom that only time can teach. You've watched the world twist, stretch, fall apart, and come back together again, often in the span of a single lifetime. You've seen empires rise and fall, walked through the shadows of war and the light of peace. You've witnessed revolutions in politics, society, and technology that the younger generations can't fully comprehend, not because they lack intelligence, but because they haven't lived through the weight of it all. You've experienced love, perhaps lost it and found it again, or maybe you're still waiting. You've known the joy of laughter echoing in your home, and the stillness of grief sitting quietly beside you. You've walked through storms of pain, climbed the peaks of success, tripped over failure, and picked yourself up again and again. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still capable of choosing, still becoming. And that means something. But if you want the rest of your years to be not just lived, but truly enjoyed, then there's something vital you must understand. Not everything deserves to come with you into the next chapter of your life. Some things, beliefs, habits, people, possessions, and even your own thoughts are silently weighing you down. They're not helping you grow. They're keeping you stuck. The biggest illusion many fall into as they age is the belief that adding more will bring happiness. More things, more people, more achievements. But happiness, real happiness, isn't found in what you accumulate. It's found in what you release. The most peaceful, joyful, fulfilled people in their later years are not the ones who cling to everything. They're the ones who've mastered the art of letting go. So today, we'll talk about 8 things you must release. Not someday, not later, but now, to truly live a life of lightness, clarity, and peace. 1. Let go of the belief that you've learned everything. The moment you convince yourself there's nothing more to learn is the moment you begin to silently retreat from life. It's subtle, this shrinking of the soul. You don't feel it all at once. But over time, the world seems less vibrant, your mind less agile, and your heart less open. Why? Because growth is the rhythm of life, and when you stop learning, you fall out of sync with that rhythm. We often associate curiosity with childhood, imagining wide eyes and endless questions. But curiosity is not meant to fade with age. In fact, the older we grow, the more essential it becomes. It keeps us awake to the beauty, complexity, and possibility of the world around us. It gives our spirit something to chase, something to wonder about. Without it, we fall into repetition, into comfort zones that slowly become cages. So, stay curious, not just about the world outside, but the one within you. Ask yourself why you believe what you believe. Read books from genres you've never touched. Listen, truly listen, to people who think differently than you. Seek discomfort, because that's where the gold is. Try something new, even if it makes your hands shake. Especially if it makes your hands shake. Age is not a barrier, it's a chapter. And in each new chapter, you are offered a choice, to settle into what you know or to reach for something you don't. Every question you ask, every step you take into the unknown is a declaration that you're not done becoming. You're still unfolding, still discovering, still alive. So let go of the myth that you've arrived. You haven't. None of us have. We're all works in progress, beautifully unfinished. And that's what makes life endlessly meaningful. 2. Let go of toxic relationships. Yes, even those ones. It's not easy. It never is. But sometimes the most powerful act of self-love is knowing when to walk away. You do not owe your time, your kindness, or your energy to anyone who continually crosses your boundaries, questions your value, or chips away at your sense of peace. Whether it's someone you grew up with, a person who's been in your life for decades, or even someone connected to you by blood, none of that gives them the right to damage your spirit. Toxic relationships don't always look like yelling or overt abuse. Sometimes they come in quiet forms, chronic criticism disguised as advice, conditional love, manipulative guilt tripping, or an unwillingness to respect your needs. These subtle poisons can be just as harmful and even more confusing to identify. But here's the truth: your emotional safety matters. Your inner peace is non-negotiable. You're not cruel for stepping away. You are not selfish for choosing to protect your energy. You are simply choosing yourself, and that is both brave and necessary. Every moment spent with someone who drains you is a moment stolen from your joy, your creativity, your growth, your rest. Life is too short to water relationships that refuse to bloom, or worse, that grow thorns and leave you bleeding. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you finally started caring about yourself more. So yes, even those ones. Even the friend who means well, but never shows up for you. Even the relative who constantly criticizes your choices. Even the person you've known since childhood who now only takes and never gives. Your time is sacred now. Your peace is a priority. Your boundaries are not up for debate. You're not being harsh. You're being honest. And honest boundaries are the highest form of self-respect. 3. Let go of clutter. Physical, emotional, mental. Open your drawers, your closet, your garage. Now go deeper. Open your mind. Open your heart. Take a long, honest look. How much of what's there is simply taking up space? That shirt you haven't worn in years. That box of tangled cables you'll use someday. That apology you never gave. That grudge you still carry. Clutter isn't just about objects collecting dust. It's the weight we carry in silence, in storage, in the spaces we no longer notice. And the more we hold on, the more confined we become. The clearer our homes, the freer our minds, the lighter our spirits. Every unused item is a decision delayed. Every regret is a moment relived. Every unspoken word is an emotion unprocessed. Let it go. Let go of the coat you've outgrown. Someone else might need it more. Let go of the guilt that gnaws at you. Learn the lesson. Then release it. Let go of the need to control everything. Trust that peace often follows surrender. Decluttering is not just a spring cleaning ritual. It's a quiet rebellion against stagnation. It's choosing movement over stillness, simplicity over chaos, presence over the past. So, donate what no longer serves you. Forgive what you cannot fix. Speak what your soul has been whispering. And then breathe and let go. Because clearing space isn't just about tidiness. It's about honoring your capacity to grow. It's about making room for lightness, for clarity, for joy. It's about creating space, not just in your home, but in your life, for what truly matters. 4. Let go of the fear of aging. Aging is not a punishment. It is a gift. Aging is often portrayed as something to be feared, delayed, or hidden. But in truth, it is a sacred privilege, a journey that not everyone gets to complete. To grow older is to accumulate layers of wisdom, resilience, and stories that make you uniquely you. Every wrinkle is a poem written by time, etched by laughter, sorrow, perseverance, and wonder. These lines are not flaws, but verses, each one a reminder that you have lived, felt, and endured. Scars, whether seen or unseen, are not imperfections. They are proof of healing, strength, and survival. They are the medals of a life fully experienced. And laugh lines? They are evidence that joy visited your life, not once, but often, and left its mark like sunlight pouring through the windows of your soul. The world, in its obsession with youth, may try to make you feel irrelevant as you age. It might whisper that your value diminishes with each passing year. But here's the truth. Aging does not make you invisible. It reveals you. With age comes the freedom to stop living by others' expectations and start honoring your own. You begin to make peace with your past, trust your intuition, and choose authenticity over approval. You are not fading. You are unfolding, layer by beautiful layer, into the most honest, powerful, and radiant version of yourself. You are becoming more you than you've ever been. And that, in itself, is a kind of miracle. So let go of the fear. Embrace the gift. Live boldly, age gracefully, and shine unapologetically. 5. Let go of the expectation that others will make you happy. If you're still holding on to the hope that someone else, your spouse, your children, your friends, or even society will be the source of your happiness, it may be time to rethink. Waiting for others to fill the emotional gaps in your life is like waiting at a train station for a train that was never scheduled to arrive. The most joyful people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s share a powerful truth. They stopped waiting. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, the right company, or external approval to begin living fully. They painted even if no one would ever see their art. They gardened without worrying if anyone appreciated the flowers. They danced even if their movements were no longer graceful. They gave themselves permission to experience joy on their own terms. They didn't chase happiness. They cultivated it. They understood something essential. When we rely on others to provide our happiness, we give them power over our emotional well-being. We become dependent on their moods, their decisions, their validation. But true happiness, the deep, lasting kind, doesn't come from the outside in. It comes from the inside out. Happiness is not something you find, inherit, or stumble upon. It is something you create through the way you think, the choices you make, and the way you show up for yourself day after day. So paint, garden, dance, right? Learn the piano. Take long walks with no destination. Build something just for the fun of it. Don't wait for someone to invite you into your own life. Let go of the illusion that happiness is owed to you by someone else. Reclaim it, design it, choose it, because in the end, joy is not something you wait for. Joy is something you decide to live. 6. Let go of comparing yourself to the young. You are not who you were at 30, and that is not a loss. It's a profound transformation. You've exchanged smooth skin for a deeper kind of beauty, one etched with stories, resilience, and lived truths. You've traded relentless energy for grounded presence, the kind of presence that holds a room not because it's loud, but because it's steady. You've replaced the urgency to be seen with the clarity of knowing who you are, even when no one's looking. Think of it this way. Spring bursts with bloom, but autumn is the season of the harvest. You're not in decline. You are in abundance. This is your golden season, the time when all the seeds you've sown finally bear fruit. So why compare yourself to those just beginning their journey? They are writing their prologue. You, on the other hand, are living your masterpiece. You're not behind. You are ahead, in wisdom, in self-awareness, in the richness of perspective. You're not less. You are layered. You are luminous in a quieter way. You are the full moon to their rising sun. Let go of comparison. You are not competing. You are becoming. 7. Let go of regret. Regret is like trying to walk forward while constantly looking over your shoulder. You lose sight of where you're going, stumble over where you are, and ultimately miss the beauty of what could be. Everyone has chapters in their lives they wish they could rewrite. Maybe it's a word left unsaid, a choice you'd undo, a relationship you'd mend or never start. These moments linger in the mind, quietly demanding replay after replay. But the truth is, the past is a closed book. No amount of regret will change its ending. To move forward, you must stop letting regret write your present story. Start with honesty. Speak the truths you've buried, even if only in the privacy of your own thoughts. Whisper the apologies you never gave. Offer forgiveness, especially to yourself. Not everything can be fixed, and that's okay. Make peace with the pieces you can't pick up. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from the weight of what cannot be changed. Let those old shadows fall behind you. What lies ahead is unwritten, waiting, and it deserves your full attention, not your backward glance. 8. Let go of the belief that it's too late. You're not done. You are not a finished product, a closed book, or a story that has run out of ink. There are still chapters waiting to be written, not by fate, but by you. Too many people carry the weight of a silent belief that once you passed a certain age, missed a few milestones, or failed a few attempts, your chance is gone. But that belief is a lie dressed as logic, a myth we tell ourselves when we're afraid to try again. Look around. Some of the most beautiful love stories began at 70. Business empires have been built from kitchen tables at 60. Artists, writers, thinkers have found their true voice not in their youth, but in their maturity. This world is full of late bloomers who simply refuse to give up on the garden. It is not too late to start again. Not too late to fall in love with life, with someone new, or even with yourself. Not too late to discover a passion, create something meaningful, or walk away from something that no longer serves you. You're allowed to change direction. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to begin again, not despite your past, but because of it. The only thing that tells you it's too late is the voice that thinks your story is over. But it's not over. It's just turning the page. A new chapter is waiting, and you're the one holding the pen. Let go. Let go of fear, of regret, of cluttered closets and cluttered minds. Let go of toxic people, limiting beliefs, and the weight of what was. Because what remains when you release what no longer serves you is you. Raw, honest, unburdened, powerful. This is not the end. This is the beginning of living fully, freely, and finally on your own terms.